Hello guys, it's Saturday evening. We're out here. We just decided to take a walk by the river, stop and sit down. It's nice out here. It did rain earlier, but for the first time in a long time, it has not rained tonight yet in the evening. Normally right before we get ready to go out, and the sky will get dark. And it's as if Mother Nature is saying, oh no, you're gonna stay your ass inside. But luckily that has not happened yet. As you can see, it's very nice down here. Very nice. There's the figures at the beginning of the bridge. I like looking at those. They're very nice. I did have a talk with the school where I work. And we did talk about money. What they're going to do, and they've already had this plan in place. Next month, we're having a faculty meeting, just the director, the vice principal, and all the teachers, which I believe there's only, counting me, I think there's only 4 teachers. As I said before, this is not a full-time school. They only teach 4 subjects there. They teach English, they teach Thai, they teach Chinese, and they have a computer classes for people who want to learn how to use a computer, how to use the internet, different functions, that kind of thing. Which may sound weird if you're in the West and you're like, I have an 80-year-old grandmother, she knows how to do QuickBooks better than me. But over here it's still an up-and-coming technology. A lot of people have never used a computer, don't know how to, wouldn't even know how to turn it on probably. So they provide that. Next month they're starting a really intensive, hard promotional program for the school. They're not only going to do social media, which I have agreed to help, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I've agreed to help them not only on social media, different groups I belong to, not only on Facebook, but on Twitter, Instagram, you know, that could possibly be customers, but also because there's an incentive for me to do that. What they're going to do is start filling up classes. They want a maximum of 20 students per class. And from the size of the classrooms, that would be about as much as those classrooms could hold. They want 20 per class, which is cool. They're going to charge between $10 and $12 an hour for the classes. Now, of course, they're not every day, and it's not going to be like, you know, they're not going to be taking 4 or 5 classes every day, so it's not going to break anybody. There's Senglai. Hello, Senglai. She's watching YouTube. But the way they're going to work it is to have a 50-50 split, money-wise, between the school and the teacher. Per student, I might add. So what that means is, right now, I of course am getting a certain amount per hour, and it does not matter if I only have 1 student, 2 students, 5, or even 20. And I've had all those things before. I've actually taught a class with just 1 student. One-on-one teaching is different than class teaching, so usually when that happens, if I have 2 students or less, I don't even get out the workbook. I decide to go with something they want to learn, something they may be weaker at. I think that's better. But what I'm saying is, I get a certain amount of money no matter how many people I have in that classroom teaching per hour. But this will allow me to actually make more money per hour, and I'll also make it per student. So they charge $10 per student. They get a class with 20 students. I am making $5 per hour per student, or $100 for that hour. So you can see how I would be incentivized to help spread the word about the school and fill up those classrooms as much as possible. Especially when it comes to, of course, English, because that's my thing. And of course the other teachers, they would be trying to do the same thing for students that want to learn Thai, students that want to learn Chinese, students that want to learn computer stuff. but they're going to have flyers and brochures and things that if we want, we can go pass them out around town, which of course I will. As I said, I've already decided to help them on social media. So if I can get, I've already got my 5 hours on Friday, but if I can get a couple more, maybe 2 or 3 hours more under that incentive, I will be making plenty of money, enough money, and then some for the lifestyle I lead. So that's really good news. We will be having a meeting next month, and he also wants other suggestions from the teachers on ideas that we can use to get more students. And I have a couple I will tell him about. Of course, I will keep you updated as to the progress of this plan. Basically, he said he wants every teacher to feel as if it's their school also, not just his, but a shared school. I own it, he said. You will own it, he said. The only difference would be, like he said, like, listen, I will get $5 per student per hour, and out of my half, I will pay the rent, I will pay the electricity, I will pay the bills and supplies. You get $5 per hour per student, and you can spend that however you want. Yeah, and I understood what he was saying, and that's a good thing. I like the idea, and the thing is, if in some cases, like I said, I only have 2 students, I'd still be making at least $10 an hour, maybe $12 for that hour, as opposed to now where I'm just making the one set price, whether it's 1 or 20. So I like that idea. I hope it pans out. We shall see. The other thing is, since I moved here and found my apartment, I've never thought about moving out. I like my apartment. I like the area. I signed a year lease. I'm like, I'll just have to put up with it. There are cheaper places though. And every time Seng would try to persuade me to go look at an apartment that was only $80 or $100 to save money, I would always balk. I haven't even looked at a place. People have asked, do you want to look at my apartment? She would talk to them in Khmer, and I didn't know what they were saying, but obviously they were having a conversation about where I live and my future thereof. But I always said no, I haven't looked at another apartment. I don't, I like where I live. It's a good area, I got a good landlord. But earlier we were out getting coffee at one of the little stores down the street from me, literally like less than a minute's walk from where I live now. And I knew there was an apartment building back there, but I didn't know that the lady that owns the shop also owns the apartment buildings. And so when her and Seng were talking, and then she said, I have an apartment, do you want to look? And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I know her, we talked to her, we do business with her. I didn't want to offend her by saying, oh no, I don't want to look at your apartment. I thought, nah, I'll humor them, I'll go look at it. And I was actually very pleasantly surprised. It has some things going for it that my apartment doesn't. Firstly, it's on the ground floor, no more stairs. We actually looked at 2 apartments she had. One of them was upstairs, and I would never take an apartment upstairs at that place. The stairs were made of wood. They were very warped, very old, creaky, rickety. They sagged when you stepped on them. Those stairs are an accident waiting to happen. I would never, that was a big no. But the one I saw that I liked was downstairs. There's a little alleyway right next to the shop, and I've looked down the alleyway before and noticed it almost looks like a really thin, small driveway. I see, motos parked down there, bicycles. Sometimes you see people, and I knew there was an apartment, but didn't know anything about it. Tons of apartments, guest houses on that street. So I was looking at it, and when I first walked in, I looked to the left, I looked to the right, and I got a feeling of deja vu. It is the big part of the apartment. It's a studio like mine, and the big part is exactly like mine. Same size, same setup. It's got a desk, it's got a wardrobe, it's got a big bed. The only difference is that the wall fan is on the other side of the room. When you walk in, my wall fan is on the right. This one, when you walk in, it's on the left. That is the only difference. But the thing is, the kitchen was the real winner there. The kitchen is about at least twice the size of mine, and I'm guessing more, like 3 times the size. It is a big, big kitchen. I was very surprised by that, because from the outside the apartment doesn't look that big, but it's a big kitchen, and it comes with a burner plate, an electric stovetop burner, so you can, like, you know, cook. Like right now we have an electric wok and a rice cooker, but this is like an actual burner. It also comes with a TV, which mine does not. It has a TV hanging up in there, not a big one, but it's a TV with basic channels you can get here. Not the extended cable with all the English channels, but you know, pretty nice. The bathroom, it's a bathroom. I've said this before, but for those that don't know, I know there are a lot of people into bathrooms for some reason. To me, a bathroom, it just has to be functional. If it's got a bum gun and the toilet flushes and the shower works, I'm happy with it. The bathroom's smaller than mine, but like I said, I popped my head in there, turned on the light, and went, yeah, it's a bathroom. Who cares? I mean, I don't. I spend, you know, you do your nasty business in there a few times a day, and you take a shower. That's the only time you're spending in the bathroom. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care. Everything worked. That's what I care about. And the price of this place is only $100 a month, plus your electric, of course, and it's got free Wi-Fi, just like mine. So yeah, on the 12th, I'm paid up until the 12th of August, and for the first time, I'm seriously thinking about moving. I mean, the money, first of all, saved me $70 a month. That's always nice, but also because I get to stay in the same area on the same street, less than a minute walk from where I'm currently living. So I don't have to worry about leaving the area, finding my new favorite stores, finding where I want to get coffee or drinks or anything. It's right. All I got to do is walk out my door, down a little alley, a few feet, right to her shop. Boom. There it is. So those are the two things going on right now. I just thought I'd share with you since we're taking a little rest down here. Thought you'd enjoy the river scenes. Today and tomorrow there's no alcohol sales, although I have heard online in the forums, of course, as people are wont to do, that there are some smaller stores who are not too worried about the police showing up questioning them, who will sell you beer or alcohol, as long as you're discreet about it. So yeah, there are ways to get it, but I'm not going to worry about that. The election will be tomorrow. I probably won't go out much. I got an email from the U.S. Embassy in Phnom Penh for all expats and tourists in Cambodia to avoid going out if you can. You know, avoid large crowds. Definitely avoid anything that might look like a protest or a political rally. Stay away from the polling and voting stations so that you're not likely to get accused of being a spy or trying to undermine the election for whatever reason. So I will keep that in mind. So I figured to get out today, do a little walking around, probably spend most of my time inside tomorrow tweaking my plan for Monday for my 4-hour class. Whoa. Anyway, that's what's going on. I just thought I'd share. I'll talk to you guys later. Oh, that is one dark, angry looking sky that I am walking in right now. It's Monday early afternoon. I went and did my first of 3 courses this morning. They went really well. They had a separate, like, little banquet room upstairs to have it since they were open for business at the time. So we didn't have to deal with distractions. People were all taking notes. I thought, and it never occurred to me until I arrived, that I had never taught for 4 hours in a row before. I didn't. That's one thing I never thought about. I took the job, said I'd be there. I made a syllabus. I was about a half hour short on the syllabus also, but I'll get to that. But it never occurred to me that I had never taught for 4 hours straight. Fortunately, it didn't seem to have any adverse effect. At no time did I look at the time and think, oh, I'm going to run out of material so early. Everything seemed to go according to plan. So my lesson plans are pretty much correct in their timing. I did have extra, I put in extra things for them to practice along the way because I realized some of my points I were trying to make might be going a little long. So occasionally I would stop and just have them stand up and do some exercises in pairs, you know, speaking exercises in pairs. Then I would just go around the room and correct them. I didn't have a lot of questions, and in my plans I did make room for people to ask questions. But you have to understand, these are all basically adults. I was teaching anywhere from 16 to 34 years old. So they've already done the whole I know enough English to get by thing. So most of the things people would have questions about. Puppies. Puppies. Things people would normally have questions about when they learn they already knew, or they didn't have as many. But luckily there were still a lot of things I could teach them. How to deal with conflict in the workplace between them and customers. You know, if you worked in any kind of service industry, you have little certain customers that seem to want to complain about everything. They exaggerate things that are wrong. So they seem to really enjoy that. Here comes the rain. It is going to come down hard and heavy. Look at that. I am right underneath this big giant ball of fury. But anyway, everything went well. I got 2 more. One tomorrow and one Wednesday. The reason I'm out, I wanted to say, was that I had to walk to my school to make sure they did not forget about my letter stating that I'm employed there. I need my employment letter so later I can take it down to the visa extension office, and I should be okay to extend my visa. And I'm pretty sure I should be able to do it in country this time because of my employment letter. If I didn't have my employment letter, I would have to leave the country and come back and start the process over. So I wanted to make sure they got on that. I told them about it Friday, but sometimes here things get forgotten quickly, so you might have to remind people several times of the things you need. But I got it worked out with the vice principal there. He said the director wasn't in. The director needs to stamp it, of course, but that he might be in this afternoon, if not tomorrow morning. So he's going to call me when it's complete and I can come pick it up. Probably won't be until tomorrow, but that's all right. Still gives me enough time to get it done. So I'm good. And I won't have to leave the country. Fingers crossed. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I read in the group on Facebook specifically for visa and permit questions. Somebody was in the same kind of situation as me. Their EG visa was about to expire. They started working, they didn't have a work permit, wanted to know if they had to leave the country. And one of the more knowledgeable members of that group said, no, as long as you're working, if you get a letter from your employer, you should be able to extend it up to 6 months one time. But after that, you will, because you are not working, you will need a work permit the next time you go to extend. So, should be all set there. Anyway, everything else is going good. Looks like I'll be spending most of the day again indoors, even though I do have my fancy, yeah, that's right, my fancy schmancy weather gear to keep me dry should it start pouring rain. Looks like I'll make it back just in the nick of time so I don't get soaked. Almost home. But anyway, thanks for all the well wishes and encouragement. I'm glad you guys have, are watching, of course, keeping track of my progress. And as always, if you have anything you want to know that I can answer for you, leave a comment. If you just want to say hi, leave a comment. If there's something you feel I should know, or something that would be a benefit to other people, whether that would be something about visas, something about living in Southeast Asia, or something about the difference between frog and toad sex. Somebody out there will know what I'm talking about there. But whatever it is you have to share, I'm always interested in hearing. So leave a comment, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.